Hello, welcome to Hack Hunter. This is where we review some of the best and worst tattoo artists in your cities. One of our viewers wrote in from Tyler, Texas this week, and go check out part number 1 if you want to see the artist that we found and we recommended for him. But while my team was hunting, we also came across a doozy that we just had to show you guys. So without further ado, enter Mr. Sheldon Young. You can find him working at Stubby Ink right there in Tyler, Texas, and I believe he's only one of only 2 artists that work there. If you want to check them out, Stubby Ink LLC on Facebook is the only place to do it. They don't have a website. I could not find an Instagram. So basically, it was impossible to figure out the names of their artists, which artist did which work. We had to do a lot of internet sleuthing just to figure out his name and find a photo of him. If you want to find it, though, his Instagram is tatlife1976. It is private, though, so I'm not sure how he expects artists or he expects clients to research his work and to decide if they like his work or what. But let me show you the highlights. Bam! Let's start with some animals, shall we? This was a cheetah or a tiger with really bad acne. I'm not really sure what's going on. It's bubbly, it's weird, it's strange looking. Let me continue on with some animals though. Here's another one, a giraffe. Just again, bubbly, strange, weird looking, heavy, dark shading, no real light texture or detail put in there. If I had to guess, he probably freehanded that on. How about this lion? Again, probably freehanded it on. Just judging by how simple this crown is. Look at that. That is like a clip art crown that he just blew up and stretched out to fit on this lion's head. Look at how giant this is on this guy's arm. And there's no whiskers on the lion, no detail, no hair detail in the face, just giant wispy locks of hair with a really simple crown. Very, very disappointing to see artwork like this. Overly simplified stuff. Here's an elephant. Again, very overly simplified. I hate to see anytime an artist only uses one line weight. This is a big red flag to me, and if you're a client out there, you're looking for an artist, this is something you want to look at. Not all artists will use more than one line weight, and when an artist does this with a really bold liner, and they use that bold liner, especially in places like this, the strings on this dream catcher should be nice and thin, delicate strings, but use that same bold liner throughout the whole thing. You can see how wiggly the lines are on the dial. You can see how imperfect this circle is here. But not to mention, do those numbers look a little off to you guys? 4, 5, 6, 5, and then 8, 7.5? I don't know. I don't know. You're telling me that this crack is big enough that 2 letters just fell through it? Come on. Very disappointing to see. Let's keep up with the animals, though, because this was one of his best animals that I found. Now, granted, it's still really etchy looking, it's really overly simplified and everything, but compared to his other ones, it was definitely better. I wouldn't say it's good all around, but compared to his other ones, it's better. This crown, on the other hand, is straight garbage, because again, this is just like if you went on Google and just typed in King's Crown, this is exactly what you would get. You would just get something really cheap and simple like this, and yeah, he really didn't put any effort into improving it or making it better detail, nothing, just called it good. Now, his color work. Let's talk about this because I did find a lot of color work in his portfolio, and the saturation here doesn't look bad, but the blending is non-existent. You would think that these light pinks and dark pinks would blend together. Maybe he's doing some sort of a watercolor type thing in here, but the main thing that popped out at me right away was this line work. You notice this on a photo, and you might see this in other artists' portfolios on occasion. This line work glares and has a reflection, and the rest of it doesn't. And why it has that reflection is because this is an old outline. It's healed. You can see how glossy it is up here, how raised it is here. That is obviously scarring. So my man is definitely pushing way too hard, going way too deep, working too fast, whatever it may be. He is overworking those lines big time, and it's causing scarring just like this. Now, some other color work I found was this one. Oh boy, what the hell is that? I don't even feel like I can judge this. It's possible this is exactly what that client wanted, and he nailed it. But to me, this just like, I don't even know. I don't even have words for this one. Moving on, though. Here's a skull he did. Again, look at how bold and blotchy this leaf is here. Now, normally on a leaf, the vein lines are going to be nice and thin and delicate, but man, he just blasted over them with a super bold outliner. And then I look around, and these lines, some of them are deep and blurrier, and some of them are too shallow and too faint. The ink didn't get deep enough. So this is just straight up rushing. This is not caring about your client's outcome in the end, just trying to get something that looks halfway decent on their skin and getting them out the door. Now, I am going to give him a little bit of props with these next two. This one is something he freehanded on with some markers, and pretty overly simple design, but still turned out pretty good. I like the idea behind it, the broken, busted up heart and everything, the caution tape. Now, I zoom in on closer on these letters. You can see the inconsistency in the lines again. You can see how scratchy that shading really looks when you get up close to it and really inspect it. And yes, a lot of these are super faint as well. Lets me know he's not getting to the proper depth or doesn't have enough ink in his machine while it's running. So the inconsistency is there for sure. But overall, the design work was much better than his other tattoos. This one was probably one of his best ones that I found. But still, if I really zoom in here, this squiggly line work up here, you can see he was trying to go over it again to fix it, trying to clean it up in these areas, and really just doing a poor job of it. Again, a really overly simplified crown, and then this lettering. Very, very strange look to it. You can see that he outlined it, but then he almost like shaded each letter as well. So it has this really kind of blurry, out of focus quality. And it's like he did it on purpose, but they're all done differently though. So it's just really, really strange to me. Not to mention, look at how hairy this dude's arm is. There should not be any hair when you are performing a tattoo. That should be step one, prep the skin. Shave it, clean it. And he just didn't do that. Again, major red flag. We see it all the time in these hack portfolios. They just don't take the time to prep the skin properly. Either they weren't trained well to do it, or they're just kind of half-assing it, not caring if it's done well. So yeah, last one I'm going to show you, a weird handpiece. I have no idea what that is, but it goes to show why we decided to showcase Sheldon here. So Sheldon Young from Stubby Ink obviously goes on our hack list. Go check out part number 1 if you haven't seen it, guys, and if you want to kind of cleanse your palate from what you just saw. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.